Good morning and a very happy Friday to all of you. We've made it. We're to the end of the week. I'm excited to close out this incredible week with our guest, Dr. Albert Bramante. He's been here all week, giving us just tons of great guidance. Again, a quick reminder if you want to know more about Dr. Bramante's work, you can find his stuff at albertbramante.com. That is albertbramante.com. A lot of great stuff there on his webpage, but reach out to him if you're looking for a partner or just want another chance to talk with somebody who's got some great insights as he has shared this week. We have talked about networking. We've talked about overcoming fear and building resilience. And today, Dr. Bramante is going to bring it all together by talking about a very powerful concept, and that is taking action rather than living in that world of someday. This is about moving past the planning and the dreaming and actually doing the work. It's a perfect topic to inspire us as we head into the weekend with a renewed sense of purpose.
Where is your kid headed after high school? We are from Carpool to College, two accomplished educators, college and career consultants, and parents who guide families through the entire journey, from freshman year planning to senior year success. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
And with that, I'm going to turn it over to our incredible guest to finish up the week for us. So, Dr. Albert Bramante, thank you again for being here. I look forward to what you got for us today on this vital topic.
Well, thank you again, Adam, for having me. I'm so happy to be here
Absolutely.
and to share the week with you. So, the one thing, and when I say the incredible word of someday, how many times have you said to yourself, someday I'm going to write my book, or someday I'm going to do this project, or someday I'm going to work on this? The idea here, and I'm going to disrupt you by saying that it'll never get done. That's just the truth about it. If you keep with that mantra of someday, it'll never get done. So the important thing is to take action, and even if it's small steps. So start breaking down whatever it is you want to do, whatever you keep saying, because I'm going to do, and break it into steps, like small steps. And when you break it down in these steps, start setting yourself, putting it on the calendar. Okay, I will do this step 1 by this date, step 2 by this date. Because the important thing is when you put it on your calendar, it becomes real. It's not just a concept, it's a real thing. So, and it helps you be accountable. And that's the big thing is accountability, because now by a certain date you have to have it. And, of course, give or take if it's not exactly that date. But the important thing is you're taking that action as it's happening. So you want to live in a state of action, not just, living life on the sidelines. Because, and I'm gonna get a little heavy for a second here.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of psychologists have worked with people on their deathbed when they're facing, their last moments. And the biggest source of anguish wasn't like, okay, the mistakes that I made, or the foolish decisions I made, or the reckless decisions I made. The biggest source of anguish, regret, and torture are the missed opportunities, what they didn't do. Maybe they didn't take enough vacation. They didn't create something that they were interested in. They didn't go after the life they wanted. So the important thing is to take action. So I can't stress that enough. And by putting it on your calendar. So rather than saying, well, I'm going to do this, start breaking it down to tasks. And this is going back earlier this week. I was talking about support system. I mentioned the importance of a support system.
Mm-hmm.
This is another way you can leverage that, because you can hold each other accountable. So rather than saying, I'm going to do this, you tell each other by what date, this step will be done by. And then you check in and say, hey, today you said you were going to do this. How is that going? So it keeps that accountability open, because that's the only way things are going to get done if you put it on your calendar as an actual day, because some day is not one of the 7 days of the week. It doesn't exist. And it's impossible to do that. So take action so you don't wind up regretting, not doing something. So, but I really can stress enough, and I don't mean to-do lists because a lot of people have to-do lists, but actual calendar. So putting things on your calendar will make it real, and it'll create opportunities for you. And I know, when I first was writing my book, I procrastinated for a long time. This is an antidote to procrastination, actually, by taking action and putting things on your calendar. And it'll raise your self-esteem. You'll feel much better about yourself. And more likely to be like a domino effect because now when one thing is done, you're excited, you're going to be more eager to move forward towards steps two, three, and eventually complete the project. And then be likely to do more things because it's now a springboard for more things. So really take action. I can't stress that enough, and not to get out of the someday world.
Hi, I'm Dr. Lisa Hill, a longtime educator of nearly 40 years as a teacher, counselor, professor, and vice principal, and I've seen just about everything public schools can throw at you. And now I'm sharing my tales on my comedy podcast, Vice Principal Unofficed. It's where school leadership meets laugh out loud stories. From underwear required parent teacher conferences, yes, really, to staff lounge confessions and more, you won't believe. I'm telling it all with humor and a whole lot of heart. I also tackle the serious stuff too, like what schools really need to change and those behind the scenes moments no one talks about. So if you're ready to laugh, learn, and maybe even cry a little, but mostly laugh, join me and my 90-year-old mom, my unofficial co-host, on Vice Principal Unofficed. New episodes drop bi-weekly on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcast fix. Trust me, this is one detention you'll actually look forward to.
Yeah, it's a good reminder. True impact happens when we transition from ideas to action. That's just awesome stuff. All week long, this has been great. You've really challenged us to identify things that are little things that can make a huge difference in the work that we do. I really appreciate your message to us this week, Dr. Bramante. It's been really awesome. Again, a huge thank you, final thank you for this Friday to Dr. Albert Bramante for joining us this week and sharing a lot of your wisdom. Your work is a gift to so many. I really appreciate your time and effort today.
No, thank you.
You bet. Well, thank you, listeners. Again, have a wonderful Friday. Have an even better weekend. The work you do is so, so valuable, and there's just only so few that can really do the work. So thank you for being one of the few. We'll be back here again next week with more episodes of Your Morning Boost. So thanks again for listening. We will talk with you again next week.